What's going on, y'all? What it is. So let's go ahead and slide on this topic. So it seems as though that Jay-Z and Diddy are off the hook as it pertains to the Jane Doe that filed a lawsuit against Jay-Z and Diddy and claimed that she was AR'd by both gentlemen after the VMAs back in 2000. Now, from the start, her story did not match up and NBC actually checked her. And we're talking about the loopholes that existed within her story. Her own father didn't even remember driving from Rochester, New York, I believe, all the way to Manhattan, which is a 5-hour drive, to pick her up. And this was supposedly after the alleged SA&R took place and she called her father. And you mean to tell me that your father is coherent about everything else, even though he's up there in his 70s, but he didn't remember driving all the way from Rochester, New York to Manhattan to pick up his daughter? He didn't ask any questions. You didn't look disheveled or discombobulated after being allegedly violated to that magnitude. It just didn't sound right. And quite frankly, I know it wasn't all of you, but some of you dragged me in the comments and I think I deserve an apology. Or are y'all going to be just like this?
I deserve an apology. When I came down those stairs, you did not address me right.
I was called biased. I was asked, what was I talking about? I sound stupid. I have the comments saved. Do you want me to post them? I'm not going to be petty here. I'm not trying to expose anyone's comments because you guys know that I believe in freedom of speech, and whatever you have to say in the comments, go ahead and let loose. But at the end of the day, I don't think I deserved all that. But here, this is the deal. I want you guys to listen up closely. I believe that Jay-Z and Diddy are guilty of a lot of things. I just didn't feel that particularly Jay-Z was guilty of what Jane Doe was alleging. And then when I think about it in its totality, when you look at where Diddy was on the night that she claimed she was SA'd and R, and you also look at where Jay-Z was, it's almost like, yo, Diddy didn't do this either. I believe that this was all a lie. And listen, I've said this on numerous occasions, so let me reiterate it again. I want Jay-Z and Diddy to go down for what they actually did and what the courts can actually prove. For us to sit here and want Jay-Z and Diddy to go down so bad for something they didn't do is equivalent to when 5-0 plant DRUGS on our people during a routine traffic stop that don't belong to them, but because that particular person may have a history with indulging or maybe selling DRUGS, or it could be just a rumor, it still doesn't give 5-0 the right to violate their rights and manipulate the situation just to get them off the streets. Now, I do expect some people to try to move the goalposts and say that this woman was paid off, but TMZ is reporting that she was not paid off and she walked away with nothing. Now, some of y'all say y'all don't believe certain news unless TMZ reports it, right? I hope that this is applicable as it pertains to the Jay-Z and Diddy case that just got dropped. But anyway, what I want to do right here is read you guys the paperwork that states that Jane Doe actually dropped the lawsuit, and then I'm going to read you Jay-Z's response. So it says here, pursuant to the rule 41A 1AI of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, plaintiff Jane Doe, by and through her undesigned counsel, hereby gives the notice that the above captioned action is voluntarily dismissed with prejudice. Counsel for plaintiff have discussed this matter with counsel for each defendant who acknowledge and consent to this submission. All right, that was yesterday. Now, Jay-Z says, today is a victory. The frivolous, fictitious, and appalling allegations have been dismissed. This civil suit was without merit and never going anywhere. The fictional tale they created was laughable. If not for the seriousness of the claims, I would not wish this experience on anyone. The trauma that my wife, my children, loved ones, and I have endured can never be dismissed. This 1-800 lawyer gets to file a suit hiding behind Jane Doe, and when they quickly realize the money grab is going to fail, they get to walk away with no repercussions. The system has failed. The court must protect victims, of course, while with the same ethical responsibility, the courts must protect the innocent from being accused without a shred of evidence. May the truth prevail for all victims and those falsely accused equally. Sean Carter. Now, let me say this. As far as Diddy is concerned, he may got out of this one, but he's still in the woods because Tony Busby just filed 5 more lawsuits against Diddy on yesterday. Now, this is the thing. I want to talk about Tony Busby briefly because the amount of melanated people that was in his comments on Instagram when he was going after Jay-Z and Diddy as it pertains to this case. You know, the case that Sloan Bella predicted because she said that Jay-Z would be facing some legal troubles last November and things of that nature, and said that it wouldn't be attached to Diddy, but it ended up being attached to Diddy.
There are legal troubles for Jay-Z that come up in November, and they come attached to another person, but not a person that you actually think, which would be P. Diddy spilling the beans as he gets dragged into court. No, it's not P. Diddy.
And granted, I know that she's been right on several other things. I'm not here to take anything away from her. I am a fair person, but she was just a little bit off because the lawsuit was brought against Jay-Z in December. She said November, but I'm not going to be petty there. But anyway, let me get back to what I was saying. The amount of melanated people that were in Tony Busby's comments on Instagram saying, yep, Tony gonna show Jay-Z and Diddy, take them down, they're guilty, was disheartening to say the very least. It really was. Now, you want to know what else is disheartening? The amount of content creators, especially here on YouTube, that were lying for clicks and views, right? Based off of this particular situation dealing with Jay-Z and Diddy, they saw that most of our people, not all of our people, I won't even say most, but some of our people were definitely wanting to see Diddy and Jay-Z go down for this, and they played to it. They didn't want to think rationally about things because they knew that they would get ate up in the comments because they were not pushing out the type of content that supported the ideology of some of our people. And once some of these fictitious content creators picked up on that, all they heard was cha-ching. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. And you want to know why? It's because their platform is built off of the slogan, this is for entertainment purposes only. And honestly, that's not a game that I'm willing to participate in. And just like I told you guys in the past, anything that I brought to you guys here on YouTube, I have all my ducks in a row. My lawyer has everything. There's things that I haven't even put out. Just like this information that I got about Snoop Dogg. My lawyer said, do not put this information out. You will get banned, okay? But anyway, what I want to do right here is leave you guys with this clip of this content creator talking about other content creators that sit out here and put out fake things just for clicks and views and things of that nature as it pertains to the Jay-Z and Diddy case, right? And so I want you guys to really listen to what she has to say, all right? I want you guys to feel free to drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about everything that was discussed in this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and if you're new here, consider subbing to the channel. I'll get with you guys later. Peace.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Lady Couture, the voice of all media diva. I'm not gonna be before y'all long. I posted the story. Shout out to my TikTok family members that have been DMing me, at me, and all that other stuff on Instagram, on TikTok. I appreciate y'all. I posted it, whatever, and I didn't really say anything because I had to leave to be somewhere. But now that I'm back home, I want to say this, and it just came to me. You know how we sit up here and we talk about we need to boycott or stop supporting these big corporations that are no good to our community. Well, we need to do the same thing to some of these fake journalists, fake bloggers, messy bloggers, who are, majority of them are black, and we need to stop supporting them and make their money dwindle as well. We need to do that too, because they're a danger and they're a detriment to the black community. So what we need to do, we need to stop supporting them too. We need to add them to the list also and stop supporting the messiness and anything like that. And I'm gonna tell you this, they owe this man and his wife and his family an apology. But you know what? It's not gonna happen. You know why? Because that's gonna prove that who they really are, that they're wrong, and that's gonna prove that they're wrong, that they're not credible and they're not this, that. Well, I already knew they weren't credible anyway. But they owe this man and his family an apology. But you know what? What's going to happen is they're going to move those folks, those fake journalists, fake bloggers, they're going to move the goalposts. That's what they're going to do. They're going to move the goalposts. They're going to try to find something. And this is what I don't understand. They don't do this to folks. They don't do this to what's his name? Your quote Cohen, the biggest culture vulture, one of the biggest. They didn't do this to Les Wexner. They don't do this to no other white person, but the moment it's a black person, ready to tear him down. But this is what's crazy to me. All the stuff about Drake has come out. And some of us been saying Drake is a you know what. But people swept it under the rug. But the moment, because like I said, ain't nobody talked about Jay like this when he came out with albums before the moment he got with Beyonce and the moment he was making moves and hit billionaire status. That's when all the hate came. And it's sad. It's sad because what nobody talking about him and him doing this and him doing this to this person, none of that until he got to a certain status. But anyway, so because I've been reporting on this, a few other credible people have been reporting on this as well, and basically have been showing the evidence that the story was not that her story was a lie. But of course, you had people like Tia Talks or whatever her name is sitting up here lying for clicks, likes, and views. You got people like Just Nene and all the lying, not knowing what they talking about. Fake journalists, fake bloggers, want to be messy. That's what I'm saying. We need to stop feeding into them too. Again, let their money dwindle away. We want to boycott the big corporations, boycott them too. Until they get it together. Until they're not a detriment to the black community. So, you know, I don't care what feathers I ruffle. It doesn't matter. But again, the apology needs to be louder than the disrespect. And that, what's his name, Buzz Lightyear, he need to apologize too. Because he know he was wrong. But you know, he not going to do it. Jay-Z just made a fool out of him. And the thing of it is, Jay-Z he said, you don't know who you messing with. And if you go back and listen to some of Jay's songs, he's like, no, I'm not the one. So, I rest my case. The case is dismissed. I was right the whole time, and a few other people who actually did a deep dive. And things like that, and other things that know him or whatever the case may be, been around him or whatever. So yeah. So I just hate he had to go through that. Him and his family had to go through that. And not only just the fake bloggers and the fake journalists, all of those that made videos for clickbait too, that got on here and was saying all this, that, and third. I know y'all not gonna apologize either, because again, y'all gonna try to move the goalposts. Period, point blank. So it is what it is at the end of the day. Y'all have a good night.